Kiarie, what is your take? Because a commission is too important for the country, and if there are already seeds of discord being planted even before the constitution of that commission, it is worrying. So what do you think should be the solution out of this, even as the country follows the law as it is?
The nature of politics is that people will have very strong feelings about so many things. And how this is managed is by having a law. And how we come up with a law is very well guided in our constitution, attendant laws, even standing orders of parliament that generates this law. How to come up with a law is already there. Now, as we sit right now, Sam, the law is that there shall be a body that shall nominate commissioners to the IEBC.
Right.
These bodies are well listed. I might not be exhaustive in the list. The LSK is going to be part of this. The interreligious parties, the inter-parties liaison, PSC, the PSC being Public Service, the Parliamentary Service Commission, are the ones who are supposed to go and give 2 names suggested for chairman and maybe 8 names suggested for the 4 positions. And this is from the list from which the president will choose his people. Right. So what you are listening to, Sam, from the Honorable Mbui, what you are listening to is a script on how Azimio... Yes?
Do you mean his people or commissioners?
Who?
You said the president will pick his people from the list
to pick people from this list. To pick people from the list of maybe 8 appointees, 2 nominees for chairman. He gets 1 chairman. From the 8, he picks 4, from which become commissioners to the positions that are open. What I was saying, Sam, is that listening to the Honorable Mbui, you're listening to a script on how Azimio loses elections long before elections have happened. So what you will be hearing in 2033 is crying that we were never involved. This one is illegitimate because we were never involved. However, how you get involved is through the processes that are stipulated by the law. Some, the fact that Azimio did not participate in the follow-up election in 2017 did not stop Uhuru Kenyatta from being the legally elected, legitimate president of Kenya. It won't matter how loud you shout from the streets that you do not recognize the presidency of William Ruto. The fact is that by law, the president of the country today is William Samoei Arap Ruto. So the best way is for Azimio to just get on board, follow the law as it stipulates. And some, let me tell you, some of these laws you're hearing Azimio saying they will not comply with, they were passing them by force in the last parliament. Some of us were standing up, especially when we were passing the election laws. Right. I remember I left Bunge that evening at around 3:30 in the AM, trying to argue that there is a way that we should not take this country down that route. And that was the day we were debating the election laws. But that was not my point. My point is, Sam, the body that is going to be nominating or shortlisting for IEBC is constitutionally mandated to do so by law, laws that were passed by none other than some of the gentlemen you're seeing here, including the Honorable Mbui.
They said they were ignored in the recommendations.
Yeah?
They said they were ignored in the recommendations.
But you see, Sam, when a process is moving forward, it doesn't mean that everything that I suggest as John Kiarie has to be onboarded for it to be legitimate. That's why we go through processes. So if you had one recommendation that was adopted and another that was not adopted, it depends on the merit of the recommendation that you made. So if the recommendation is not constitutional or is not legally acceptable, it doesn't mean that now you forfeit the process just because your recommendation was not onboarded. Now, finally, the Justice Muchelule inquiry, and I don't want to be delving into matters that are before a court. This is exactly what we had said needs to happen. procedural processes that allow for either the admission or the omission of an individual or the kicking out of someone from a constitutional commission. It has to go through the processes that are required. So even the Cherera 4, if they really were serious about what they were saying, if they really meant what they were saying, they should have gone through such a process so that they are able to bring to light for Kenyans to see what it is that they were arguing about and what it is that led to their breaking away from the main commission to go and form a parallel commission that could not even enumerate numbers. They could not even put figures together. These are people who are tasked with the mega role of enumerating, tallying figures for an election. They could not even put figures together, some. So it tells you that the process that we had undergone in forming the last commission was very faulty. This parliament, the 13th parliament, decided to remedy the situation, come up with a body that is widely acceptable. Okay. And that's how we ended up incorporating public service, parliamentary service, inter-party liaison committee, the LSK, the interreligious bodies, so that we have a very all-inclusive processes in picking up commissioners.